So with that, members, we will move on. We're going to do the bill, Representative Agbaje's bill, House File 1315. I will move that House File, well, actually, Representative Hollins, would you like to move House File 1315 to be referred to the General Register?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. So moved.
Great. Representative Hollins moves House File 1315 be referred to the General Register. Representative Agbaje, if you can go ahead and present your bill, and then I know we have a couple testifiers here today. So Representative Agbaje.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and good morning to members of the committee. So I'm here this morning to present House File 1315. This bill is known as the Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. The purpose of this bill is to clarify the definition of race in the Minnesota Human Rights Act to include race-based traits like hair texture and styles, including braids, twists, and locks. Across the country and in the state of Minnesota, we have had incidents of people experiencing discrimination because of how their hair grows naturally from their head. And when enacted, this bill will make it clear that such discrimination will no longer be tolerated in the state. I myself have felt the pressure to straighten my hair because of a fear of losing a job or not being able to be taken as seriously. And I straightened my hair for most of my life, only recently allowing myself to be myself. And I'm glad to carry this bill to ensure that people have the freedom to show up as they are in school and at work and focus on the task at hand, rather than worrying about whether their hair will cause a loss of an education or earning an income. So today I have some testifiers with me who will share their stories about why this bill is important to them and how their lives have been affected without having this legislation in place. Thank you.
All right, then thank you, Representative Agbaje. First on the list, I have Vachel Hudson. If you could unmute yourself, introduce yourself for the record, and then go ahead with your testimony.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your time. Thank you, Representative Agbaje and Chair Becker-Finn, for hearing this bill and bringing it forward to the committee. My name is Vachel Hudson, and I'm a transplant from Louisville, Kentucky. I reside in Elliott Park neighborhood, and I also own property and am a landlord in North Minneapolis. I serve as the Housing and Wealth Development Manager at the Urban League Twin Cities, and have the pleasure of serving as the president of the Urban League Twin Cities Young Professionals, which is an auxiliary chapter of the National Urban League Young Professionals. And I speak on behalf of my community, peers, chapter members, networks, when I say that we support and need the Crown Act passed. In a climate like Minnesota, when it can get below the 0 degrees, my hair is not only an added layer to help me stay warm as I adjust and live in a place totally opposite of where I'm born and where my roots are, but it's also one of the only natural ties that some of folk like myself and our youth have to our culture and our heritage. Currently, we're only being taught that slavery, Black history is slavery in our schools. So many of our youths see celebrities such as Lil Durk, Lil Baby, Lil the Migos, Kodak Blacks, many other artists and entertainers with dreads and natural hairstyles that may rap about money, guns, drugs, and abuse more than the youth see Black engineers, teachers, lawyers, doctors, bankers, and other high-paying professionals with the same hairstyles as themselves, so they could see themselves in and aspire to become. Even Jay-Z, one of the most widely known and respected Black moguls, has grown dreads, and it's in a style that probably wouldn't slide in the corporate setting, depending on their organization's policies. Therefore, some of the most powerful and respected partners and corporations have no issue with sitting with him at his table or him at theirs. Our youth and community will have more upside and impact to society when we're exposed to positive role models who look like us, and we will perform better when we can be our authentic selves rather than trying to live the life that these rappers and entertainers are speaking over the airwaves, which then causes us to possibly spiral into a path of destruction. As we mentioned earlier, carjackings, robberies. As the epicenter of a national global racial awakening, Minnesota has and continues to be on the microscope of what and how our society wants to move forward. We can't talk about diversity, racial equity, and justice in the workplace without talking about discriminatory policies, such as a dress code and the appearance code, which also prevents Black and brown people from accessing economic opportunities, in addition to its impact on our mental health. We're the only ethnic group who has to have a law to protect something that is already a part of our DNA. I urge you all, please pass the Crown Act. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, for your testimony. Next, we have Tiquana Mcintyre. Tiquana, if you could unmute yourself, introduce yourself for the record, and then go ahead with your testimony.
Thank you, Chair Becker-Fan. My name is Tiquana Mcintyre. I am the president and founder of Family Rise Together and Proven Solutions. My studies is in child protection services. So I was a child protection social worker here in South St. Louis County for about 10 years. My story is a bit different, and it's it's strange for me to be in this moment at this time, because I found myself this morning actually wrapping my hair to look presentable and be professional for this setting. And it was not until he started talking and sharing his story that I actually took my scarf off. And I'm saying to myself, this is why I'm here. This is why I must speak up. So that wasn't intended, but my testimony is, I support this bill because of the very children that I serve, the very community that I serve. When we are looking and working with families where their children are at risk of placement or already in placement, they are at more risk of their hair and their skin being neglected. They are also at risk of being discriminated against in schools while in placement and being cared for by social services. The lack of education, the lack of training, and though foster parents step up to do their very best, the ignorance of our hair and our skin affects the self-esteem of the children whom we serve. And that for me is an issue. I support this bill because this bill will also open up the door for my own children not to question their value, their self-worth, or their presence in any space because they look and they feel different. I support this bill because I myself have struggled with my own identity crisis with dealing with my own hair as a professional Black woman in Duluth, Minnesota. I too have straightened my hair, cut my hair, kept my hair braided to look and be presentable so that I can be taken seriously. I asked Chair Becker-Fan, and I apologize if I'm not addressing everyone properly, but I support this bill, and I ask that you support this bill for the simple fact that our well-being and our self-esteem is attached to our crown, which is our hair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you did a great job testifying. No problems there. Next, we'll go to Lenora Warfield. Lenora, if you can unmute yourself, introduce yourself for the record, and then go ahead with your testimony.
Well, hello, my name is Lenora Warfield. I am a female entrepreneur, and I'm here supporting the Crown Act bill to be passed. And for me, I'm testifying for this because I do, as a professional woman, I own my own home. I have a hair salon located in Fridley, Minnesota, which is located inside of a senior living building. And the reason why I'm putting that out there is because I feel that there can be some discrimination there. So for me, growing up, I love the fact that my hair was very versatile. I would always style my hair and wear my hair natural curls, braids. I would even straighten it or even wear extensions. And I took great pride in my hair. So once I joined the working field, I worked primarily in healthcare as a certified nursing assistant, just because I love to care for others. But while I was working there, I really felt that there was much discrimination against my hair, as the people there didn't mind that my hair was in the styles that I had it, because it did not define my abilities to care for them as long as they needed my help. And so now that I'm a business owner, serving clients in a setting that's mainly Caucasian, and some of the people may have failing health, I see that the discrimination is more prevalent. I see it when I get the stares or the obscene questions on how do I care for my own hair, or how do I care for, or how I would even care for their hair. I see it when the residents would rather go to a different salon, knowing that there's a salon located inside of their place of residence. And the reason why I'm dedicated to raising this issue is that the discrimination is solely based on my hair. I feel that my licensing and my professionalism should speak for itself and let the people know that I am capable enough to do their hair as well. So like you, and everyone out there, I'm a successful person. I'm a member of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. I'm also a member of the Minneapolis Urban League Twin Cities, young professional. I volunteer my services to help others to bridge the gap in the generational wealth in our community. And I'm a positive contributor to this community. So yet the first thing I am judged on is my hair, which is simply a representation of who I am, my heritage and my roots. I find that very disrespectful. I would like, for you guys to pass this bill just because I want also for my children to be able to be comfortable in their skin and not to be intimidated or not hired or not advanced or treated poorly or discriminated against by the racial behavior simply based on their hair. And I respectfully ask that you support the bill to be passed for the Crown Act so we can join these other states that are making a statement and so that we can be that much closer to a just and fair society. So thank you, Chair Becker-Finn, and then Representation Agbaje. I appreciate it and hope you will pass the bill as well.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Next I have, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, Cesarina Natanga. If you could unmute yourself, introduce yourself for the record, and then go ahead with your testimony.
Sure, thank you. My name is Cesarina Natanga, and yep, you weren't too far off. And I am a first generation African American woman. I've been a Minnesota resident my entire life, being raised in Apple Valley and currently living in Bloomington, Minnesota. I volunteer as the parliamentarian with the Urban League Twin Cities Young Professionals. And professionally, I have been working in customer service spaces my entire career. Most recently, I am serving as a community engagement specialist for a nonprofit here in the Twin Cities that serves individuals and families who are impacted by domestic violence, as well as children who have been experiencing different traumas as well. Throughout my career, I've been placed in situations where I've had to battle between showing up as my authentic self versus conforming to what predominantly white spaces have seen as professional or acceptable, whether it's straightening my hair or having to pay top dollar to be able to style my hair in a certain way, when I should be able to just come out with a shampoo and conditioner like other people are able to just wash their hair in the morning and go. They don't have to spend as much money and do as much upkeep to battle the same types of discrimination that we do. And I just feel very passionate about this because I grew up having to sit through the painful processes of getting my hair chemically treated and relaxed and permed for years, damaging my scalp, risking my health just to fit into these systems that weren't built for me. So that's just been very unfair. And I feel as though children that I'm going to be raising, my nieces and nephews who are out here growing up in the same communities that I did, don't have to face the same things as me. Naturally, we've been able to raise them up to build up their confidence and feel comfortable going out in their afros, going out in their twists and their braids. But we have to work that much harder because they go into spaces and aren't accepted. And that's just not fair to them. They shouldn't have to go through that. And we shouldn't have had to go through that either. It wasn't until I got to college that I made the decision to chop off all of that relaxed hair and go natural, and have been embracing that journey since then. But it still wasn't until I got into a Black-owned business that I work for that I felt completely comfortable in being able to show up with my hair, whether it's in twists, locks, fro, whatever, a ponytail that just happens to be a little more curly than someone else that doesn't look like me. It wasn't until I got into that space that I felt comfortable doing that. And I should have been comfortable with that no matter where I am. And that's what we're pushing for with this bill. And that's the support that we're looking to get as we're pushing this bill forward. And we just want to thank you for giving us this platform and the space to be able to speak. Representative Agbaje, we really appreciate your support. And Chair Becker-Finn, I hope I'm presenting myself well here. And we just want to thank you again for this opportunity and hearing our testimonies and our voices. And we really hope that you do support this bill and push this forward, because there has to be some changes.
Thank you so much for your testimony, and you all did an amazing job. This is really good testimony here this morning, so thank you very much. We have one last testifier on the list, Commissioner Lucero. If you could unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and go ahead with your testimony.
Good morning, committee. Good morning, Chair Becker-Finn. My name is Rebecca Lucero, and I am the Commissioner for the Minnesota Department of Human Rights. It's great to be here with you all again. And I really want to thank you for hearing Representative Agbaje's, excuse me, I got nervous there, Agbaje's bill this first week of session. I think this signifies how important this issue is. And I do want to really be brief, because I want to let the powerful stories of each one of these testifiers stand for themselves. So the Minnesota Department of Human Rights strongly supports the Crown Act. Hair discrimination is race discrimination. And each one of these testifiers told that story beautifully. So, that is all I wanted to say. Just wanted to voice the support of the department around this, and express gratitude to every single one of the testifiers that's championing this issue today. I know I'll talk further about our agency, and I'm happy to stand for any specific questions on this, but thank you for the time.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucero. We don't have any other testifiers. Members, any questions? Representative Herr.
Not specifically a question, but a comment, just to thank Representative Agbaje for bringing this bill forward. I think I might have shared this the last time it was brought forward, and I think that we have perceptions of who we think this bill would pertain to. And I just want to share real quick again that I have actually really curly hair, and I straighten my hair every single day. And at times I've been encouraged to, when people have seen my hair natural, they'd say, oh, you should wear your hair natural. And I tried it a couple of times, and I'd come to work and people would say, oh, did you not have time to fix your hair today? Or, oh, you look so messy today. Is everything okay? And it's like, no, it's just my natural hair. I have really curly hair. And so I think that it is really important for us to remember that this is, this impacts everyone who has this hair texture. And so I just really want to thank Representative Agbaje, because I don't think that oftentimes people associate this issue with an Asian person. We're always known as having long, straight black hair, and that's just not true. And there's a big segment of us that have very naturally curly hair, and we straighten it every single day. And I put products in my hair every day, and I flat iron it or blow it out every single day. And it is really damaging. And it is just something that I wish I could just show up and go to work and not have to do that too. So I really appreciate the testifiers today, and also everyone who spoke to this, because this really is an issue, and it is a judgment on our leadership, our ability to do our jobs, and how we show up in those spaces. And so thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you, Representative Herr. Representative Grossell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And as you all can see, I am hair challenged. So I guess my question is for Ms. Lucero there. Wouldn't this already be covered under any kind of discrimination for human rights? Is there something, I'm missing here, or is this kind of discrimination not covered under any kind of human rights laws that we have?
Commissioner.
Chair Becker-Finn, Representative Grossell, thank you so much for that question. Our department has accepted these types of charges in the past. However, across the board, we agree with what Representative Agbaje said. It's really important to explicitly name this protection in our statute. It continues to be a problem. And as all of these testifiers have stated today, it's something that with that explicit naming in the statute could really go a long way to support students, kids, and people, just to show that this is a priority and this is important across the board. So I would encourage for this to pass.
Follow up, Representative Grossell.
So what you just told me was that you've already taken on these type of cases. So this type of issue is already covered under current law.
Commissioner.
Representative Becker-Finn, excuse me. I think clarity and being explicit is very helpful, and we should listen to the stories of the testifiers today.
Chair
All right.
Griffin,
Oh, yeah, Representative Agbaje.
I just wanted to add to that answer. Additionally, what happens in the court system sometimes is some judges look for very explicit language in the law about what's covered and what's not. And so by having this language in Minnesota law, we won't run into issues that have been seen in other states like California saw before they passed it, where their law would not extend to covering hair discrimination because it was not explicitly stated in their human rights law. So that's what we want to do here. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Novotny.
Quick question. I don't know if it's for the author or for the Commissioner Lucero. It's more, what about uniform hair policies or for safety reasons? Would there be an exemption for workplace safety in something like this? I'll wait for a response.
Representative Agbaje.
Chair Becker-Finn, Representative Novotny, yes, this would allow for exceptions for safety as it already does in the law. So there wouldn't be no issues for that. Any business that had specific safety reasons for people keeping their hair covered or whatever the case may be, if they already have that exemption from the law, then this would not hamper that in any way.
Any follow-up, Representative Novotny?
Thank you, Chair. That'll be it.
All right, Representative Hollins.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank Representative Agbaje for bringing this forward and thank all of the testifiers today. I know it's not easy to get in front of a group of people and talk about something as personal and as fraught as Black hair, because really it is a political statement every single time that you wear your natural hair. And I just want to commend you for being really brave and pushing this forward, because it's huge and it matters. It really does. This isn't an issue of, whether or not somebody has taken the time to groom themselves. I think a lot of people underestimate how much time and energy it takes to groom natural hair. A perfectly coiffed afro takes a lot of time and energy. And so for anybody to look at that and say, well, that's not professional, that is 100% incorrect. And twists and locks all take an immense amount of upkeep. I know, I have done all of them. And so I just want to really share my strong support for the Crown Act. And I hope that the rest of the folks in this committee will share my enthusiasm for it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Representative Hollins. We'll go to Representative Frazier and then we'll move on to the vote. Representative Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is more of just a statement. Representative Agbaje, thank you for bringing this bill. I want to thank you on behalf of my three daughters because I want to be in a state where absolutely the law recognizes that no one can treat them differently because of the way that they wear their hair and the way that they can express themselves through their hairstyles. I'm like Rep. Grosso. I am also lacking in the hair area, and I wish I could be more expressive with my hair. And if that was the case, I'd want to make sure that the law would protect me in doing so. So thank you very much for bringing this bill.
All right, real quick, Representative Mortensen, and then we need to get moving. Representative Mortensen.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I doubt anybody on this committee would support any sort of discrimination, whether it's on hair, skin color, whatever. But I do take issue with this language because, as it's been mentioned, this is going to become law. And tying and defining race based off of someone's hair appearance or style seems very shallow to me. And it makes me wonder, if I grew my hair out and I braided it, did I change my race suddenly? Because that's what this language would indicate. So I can't support this bill because it defines race in a very strange and I think shallow way. So I'm kind of shocked I'm the only one saying this, but I think race is much more meaningful than the appearance of somebody's hair.
I will direct other members, if you want to look at the actual language of the bill, it just says that race is inclusive of traits associated with race, including but not limited to hair texture and hairstyles, such as braids, locks, and twists. Representative Liebling, real quick, and then we got to get moving.
Yeah,
and Representative Agbaje will let you close.
Madam Chair, thank you so much. And I just have to respond to that because, you know what, as white people, sometimes we don't realize what we're reacting to. And here's the problem. You know, we look at, sometimes in work situations and so on, we hear that people are getting pushback on their hair when it's really people perhaps unconsciously pushing back about their race. So that's the problem, Representative Mortensen and other white people here who we may not be aware of our own biases, but we need to listen to the voices of people who are on the receiving end and are telling us that they are receiving racial bias, often through the medium of reacting to their hairstyles. So I think this is a great bill, and I think we ought to pass it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Liebling. Representative Agbaje, any closing comments before we move to the vote?
Yes, thank you so much, Chair Becker-Finn, and thank you to the committee for taking this time to hear us. I really do hope you take into your hearts just the fact that all we're trying to do is clarify our laws and making sure that people know that the way that they show up, the way that they present themselves, the way that their whole selves is accepted in our society in Minnesota. And that's what we're trying to do today. And I look forward to your support for this bill. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And thank you again to our testifiers. This was really great testimony, and I was really glad that we could move this during the first week of session because it is really important. With that, Representative Hollins renews her motion that House File 1315 be referred to the General Register. The clerk will take the roll.
Chair Becker-Finn.
Aye.
Representative Moeller.
Aye.
Representative Scott.
Aye.
Representative Feist.
Aye.
Representative Frazier.
Aye.
Representative Grossel.
No.
Representative Herr.
Aye.
Representative Hollins.
Aye.
Representative Johnson.
Aye.
Representative Liebling.
Aye.
Representative Long.
Aye.
Representative Mortensen.
No.
Representative Novotny.
Aye.
Representative Farr.
Aye.
Representative Farr, was that an aye? Representative Farr. Representative Farr.
Aye.
Perfect. Representative Robbins.
Aye.
Representative Vang.
Aye.
And Representative Zhang.
Aye.
Perfect. So that is 15 ayes and 2 nays.
With that, the motion prevails and House File 1315 is on its way to the General Register. Again, thank you very much to our testifiers and to Representative Agbaje for bringing this bill forward.